Subscribe to Awaaz today. Click on the bell icon for latest national and international buzzing news.
Founder members like Dr. Gurnani, Dr. Vidya Khubchandani, and our dear teacher Dipti Sen, who was very highly motivated and always in the front for all such programs. We really miss all of them. And Dr. Usha Thakre, of course, she was the convener of this committee. It went on very well. Then we realized that why don't we form a sort of a formal course. So we decided to do that, and the 3 months course was drawn by us, and it was given to those Sati teachers. Each one teach one, those local teachers who were just 7th pass. And it really helped. Then we realized, why not we formalize this and get some recognition. So we thought of SNDT, and we approached them. And in 1995 January, we applied for affiliation, formal affiliation, and it was approved in 4 to 5 months. And in the June, we started our first batch. Of course, it went on changing their name, their qualification. Earlier we had Marathi medium, then we added English medium, then Marathi medium, there was no response, so we stopped. And over the years, the curriculum also was different. Every time we used to update it. And now 2 years back, we have a diploma course in early childhood care and education, ECCE. And it is highly rated course. And we were involved in formulation of our curriculum also from SNDT side, and other teachers also were there with the academic council. And it is really churned out very well. A lot of emphasis is given in practicals. 50% is almost internal marks with all kinds of practicals for each subject. And there are 5 theory subjects. So that's how this is the silver jubilee year for USA to celebrate our success. And I would just like to mention a few things which we have done in last 2 years, and we are very proud about it. We had Udaan 1, that was a training program. Another organization known as COR, and they approached us that they have a lot of balwadis and daycare centers in Dongri area and Bhaikhala area. So they wanted to train their teachers who are working there, but they don't have any formal training. So we accepted that challenge, and we trained about 30 teachers then, and they came to IVSA. We had a 3-day session, and it went off very well. And actually we were to continue, but somehow they didn't have funds to sponsor those teachers, so it remained. Another program, the first one we call it Udaan 1. The second program we started with TIS Prayas. That was a request by them to start for inmates of Bhaikhala jail. The ladies who are there, they normally do for stitching classes or some such thing, which they don't like. So they wanted something different and which may help them, because some of the ladies are staying in jail with the small kids also. Plus, once they finish their jail term, maybe they should have some empowerment, some training course, so they can depend on that course and they can have their own daycare center or something. So we started training. We trained about 43 ladies, and the way they took interest and learned during this 6 weeks program, we used to go to the jail. That was another experience for us, and it is very satisfying that all of them enjoyed this training like anything. They used to say, why don't you come down again? I said, this itself, we had a lot of efforts, and they really learned a lot. And those social workers from TIS Prayas are supposed to follow up. Out of that, I came to know that 2 of them are having their daycare center at their homes after going home. So it's a good news for us. And with these Udaan 1 and Udaan 2, in 2020, we were given a award by ECA. Everybody knows what is ECA, Early Childhood Association, and we were very proud to get that honor. And with this experience, especially Udaan 1 and 2, they gave us the Teacher Development and Excellence Award. It was declared in 2019 and was to be handed over in 2020. But because of Corona, it is still pending. In 2020, we have started our new short-time online courses also, along with Drishti, ADHD LD for 1 month and Shadow Teacher course for inclusive education for 3 months. They are doing very well, and online education is the word nowadays. So we are getting some students and still it is to be expanded. But we have made a beginning and we are happy that it will help the inclusive education once the schools open. Those who are interested in these two ECC courses as well as these two courses which I mentioned, ADHD and Hello, you can just write it in a feedback form and we'll get back to you with details. So I don't want to waste more time, and I will prefer to stop here. And thank you very much. All of you have come with our request, and I'm sure the proceedings will go very well for this seminar. All the best, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you, Shaina.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So the COVID-19 pandemic has changed and will continue to change the world and the way we work, rest and play. But by saying this, the way we work, rest and play, are we going back to our normal, or are there challenges, or there is an option to accept the new normal? Now, what is new normal? Is it just wearing masks? Is it just social distancing or using a hand sanitizer? Or, and especially for our early learners, what about missing on classroom? Just like before starting the webinar, our teachers here were saying, oh, give me a classroom full of children. So what are our early learners missing out on, or are they adapting? And this is what the whole webinar is about, the new normal in online teaching for early years. So we begin it with our first speaker for the day, Mrs. Purnima Contractor, President of AECD Mumbai, Founder Director of Greenfields Pre-Primary School, creator of Melody Times. I think a must-have in every pre-primary school, a CD, a collection of poems and songs meant for teachers, parents, and educators. But behind this soft-spoken and smiling woman is a crusader of grit and determination who has been working relentlessly in the field of early childhood for 4 decades. Over to you, Mrs. Purnima Contractor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I start? Okay. Thank you very much, Shaina, for your kind words. We are all in this together. But first and foremost, I would like to congratulate Indian Women Scientists Association for their Silver Jubilee and wish them many, many more years of selfless work. Welcome to all the participants to this webinar. So can I start with sharing of my screen, Ruchi?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. We can see your screen.
Yes, right.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, right. Let's start. Yes. 2020. All of us were so excited in January. New Year has come. It's so easy to write 2020. And then in February, most of our schools, we have annual concerts, etc. Then in March, we began to hear the rumblings of this virus spreading from China. We started with Sunday lockdowns. By 25th March, our Prime Minister declared a nationwide lockdown. Airports came to a halt, trains stopped, our schools shut down, our daycares closed, and everything came to a halt. Not, but you know, it was, everybody was enjoying the break. The families got time together, and children of parents where both the parents are working, they were the happiest because mother and father both were at home. And there was romance in the kitchen because the fathers began to cook, and it was lovely. But soon the bubble burst. Everybody started to realize the implications. Children wanted to go back to school. They were their friends, and above all, they wanted to play. But nothing of that could happen. And as all of us are parents, we were at our wits' end. What to do with them? Then there were deadlines to meet or work. So we had to cope with that pressure of those deadlines, the home, and then the child. The challenges kept mounting. The early years teacher, from a caring, nurturing environment, how to deal with children on the virtual screen. And you know that the early years is when young brains develop so rapidly, absorbing everything like the world, everything the world offers like a sponge. And all the interactions that the children have with their peers, with their attentive caregivers, with their educators, they literally set the foundations for a lifetime of development and health. 1 minute. I'm a little technologically challenged, so I'll need 1 minute. I'm so sorry. 1 minute. I'm sorry about that. But it is what children experience in these early years that determine what kind of person that they become. So COVID-19 really made our children and their families very, very vulnerable. And the response to the pandemic meant closing down of our kindergartens, our preschools, our daycare centers, and turning the everyday lives of 240 million children of our country and their caregivers upside down. The basic services were disrupted, access to them was disrupted, and we all knew that it would affect our children who were from 0 to 5 years. The effect would be profound. The concerns of parents. Today as a parent, my salutations to you because of what you're really going through now. The concerns of parents were, the pressure on the parents was immense. And this unprecedented nature of the pandemic made parents the frontline responders. They were responsible for their children's well-being, care, health, and learning. And of course, from school, we were sending them directives that is tarah se padhana hai, us tarah se padhana hai. So the pressures of educating children at home. Then 24/7 being caregivers. And for us women, it was double burden. And parents had to work from home with limited resources. There were a lot of financial concerns. And of course, loss of routine and the support system all about. And for parents, the focus was not only the health and learning and well-being of their children, but also their own well-being and the capacity to manage the crisis on hand and the learning from home. So lives were severely impacted. Well, with no salaries, many left the profession, which meant a loss of quality and quantity of ECD workforce. Many ECD programs closed down because of the less number of admissions, the financial liabilities, rent dena hai, kahan se denge? So many of the ECD programs actually closed down. And of course, children with delay and disability, there was no intervention for them, so they were severely impacted. Children living in poverty had no access to any kind of program. And you know our country with our geographical structure, there are people living, the children in remote and rural areas where we had no access to them. And all of you must have seen those sad pictures of the thousands of migrant families going. And I used to see the pictures of fathers, the children in the tokri on their father's head, or a child on the mother's waist. And I used to wonder, kya hoga, kya hoga? Well, even children lost the important interaction with other children. And any number of virtual learning can never be a substitute to group play and stimulation. And of course, with financial strain, domestic violence, there was a lot of stress. Ghar mein, there was so much of stress and children were subject to it. Just yesterday, I heard Dr. Sheshadri, he's a neuroscientist from NIMHANS, Bangalore. And he spoke about the tragedies and the brutal circumstances children face. And he said that what they face in such situations will have a significant impact on those areas of brain which control emotional regulations. And he calls it not just pandemic, but an everlasting pandemic. So everybody, the whole family's well-being was seriously affected. Children also, they could hear parents asking for fee refunds and criticizing teachers. They were caught between parents and teachers. And you know, these years are the crucial time for their growth and development. And there was lack of age-appropriate stimulation for children. And you know, we all teach that routine is so important for children. There was no routine for children. And the importance of school and teachers. Then we came to the concerns of the teachers. Overnight, they had to shift to a virtual platform, and nobody was prepared for it. They had to teach from home. There were no resources available at home. And of course, children were not responding or even paying attention. Even saw the lack of parental cooperation. And of course, we had the stress of completing our curriculum. And not only that, in our training, there is always a lack of learning of technical skills. Parents picked on the teacher association. And then you had parents hovering around during these online classes. These are a challenge for any teacher. And you know that when we are working in the early year space, we're least bothered about our clothes. We don't know where our dupatta is lying. We are least bothered about our hair. But when we are online, we have to take care of our hair, our clothes, and move from nurturing to a cold screen. Well, government directives. Far too often, early childhood development falls through the cracks in an emergency response in a society, especially in our country. We had nothing coming from the government. The Maharashtra government said in June that July mein hum log schools kholenge, but in phase wise. But naturally, the pandemic being the nature it was, that was not possible. Finally, the Union HRD ministry gave guidelines recommending that duration of online classes for early years cannot be more than 30 minutes. And for those who are less than 3 years, it has to be even less or no online classes. Well, and slides should be, in the slides, there should be maximum use of infographics and not more than 5 minutes. And it came as such a relief to all of us. As Shahina was saying, can this COVID challenge become an opportunity? Well, when we see that the well-being of a generation of young children is threatened, the teacher rises to take up the challenge. So the summer holidays were spent in updating and empowering teachers and parents. The Association for Early Childhood Care, Education and Development, AECED, which I represent today, had webinars for teachers and parents and offered a parenting toolkit where we helped parents with how to do parenting during COVID times, coping with challenges of the lockdown using play, storytelling, music, the summertime food and physical activities for children during the COVID times. And now we are educating parents and teachers. AECED said that however daunting it is, these are the times when we have to take parents as our partners. Because combining parents' love, their accessibility to the children, and their commitment for their child's well-being, with the teacher's expertise in designing instruction, that is the way forward. And when we do that, it provides a unique opportunity to engage closely with families on all issues related to positive parenting and nurturing care, which the early years is all about. So how do we support families and the primary caregivers? Now more than ever, parents need support with simple guidance, practical materials, so that they can provide their children with care and support. They need ideas for activities and games, which will require little or no materials, examples of how to set routines at home for children, and resources that will help parents to explain the situation to their youngest children without causing further anxieties. Give them concrete examples and suggestions for fun and age-appropriate activities, which can be done at home so that children are playing. And through playing, they're learning and hence feeling calm and secure. And now, with healthcare and early childhood education services being constrained, any face-to-face activities time being, the development of the digital platforms and other ways to guide and counsel parents, it becomes all the more important. So looking forward, what does a new normal look like? We need to stay connected to the school. And the school needs to help children and parents cope, stay calm, listen, and offer reassurance. Listen to the voices of children. Teacher, I'm missing my friends. Yes, I know, child, you're missing. But home is the place we have to be safe and secure. Be honest, be accurate. Take time to talk. Tell parents to talk to children, because conversations are great builders of language. And through language, the child can explain. We have to, with the lockdown being so long, we tend to be complacent. Teachers will have to give basic hygiene guidelines. We have to keep emphasizing on the need to wash hands, maintain social distances, wear masks, and not to exchange it with their friends. And be aware of child's mental health. So what do we need to do? Lead and inspire all the stakeholders in the new norms. Have more personal and professional development for teachers. I say personal also because the teacher also is a human being. Support the changing role of the teacher. And very, very important to reach out to families in need. In whichever way, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, in whichever way. In fact, in my school the other day, we had a child whose mother fractured her hand and the father was out in the sea. And so we reached out to her and assured her that we were there and gave her the support she needed till the father came back. And we have to develop warm and responsive parent-child relationship. So the new normal embraces the teacher and the parents coming together, bonding and working on common grounds. Increasing networking, collaboration with different like-minded associations. I just heard Dr. Rao saying about how IWSA is partnering with so many other organizations. We have to share our research and our resources in the new normal. And if we do all this, we shall have a bright horizon in the new normal. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that was a wonderful national level view. It could not have got any better. I'm sure all the parents, educators, teacher trainees, I mean, there is no aspect of the early years that you have left. I'm sure, and already questions coming in for you, and a lot of praises and everything. I think every aspect of the early years has been covered and covered very well, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to our next speaker. Our next speaker for the day is Mrs. Sandra Padgudri, an educator and facilitator who has worked in the capacity of a coordinator, principal and lecturer at various schools in Navi Mumbai and with NGOs. Currently, she is posted in US and working with elementary students with special needs and behavior challenges. So here we have Sandra Padgudri, a close friend, colleague, and a woman with nerve of steel. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Shaina. It's good to see all of you. A very good evening to all my panelists and members of IFSA and all my students and friends who are online. Thank you for sharing and giving your time. I would like to congratulate IFSA for all their achievements. You guys have come a long, long way. I think it's all because of that personal touch the faculty gives you. We have a great faculty. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you all our past members. Shaina ma'am, I think you're doing a great job. Thank you to all the faculty who are there. And thank you, Purnima ma'am. You spoke so well. I do agree, especially on the personal and professional development. It is so important. Here in the US, we have it at least twice a month, a minimum of twice a month. We do have it over here. So it is a must for our teachers on a regular basis, irrespective of whether we are going through this phase that we have now, or even if we get back on track. I would like to say that all our teachers all over are doing, in Mumbai, in India, doing a great job, especially with all the limitations that you have. And limitations not just from your end, limitations from the end of your learners as well. But I think you're trying and doing the best out of it. I agree that it's a lot of double work, a lot of uncontrolled environment on the other end of your students when you see them. But well, that's the challenge and that's a part of life. I'm happy that on our end in the US, we are getting trained especially for social emotional learning. And that will be a great training that's going to help us, especially dealing with what's going on now in terms with our students. We went into a lockdown in the month of somewhere around mid-March, and it was like overnight. We just got a call in the night and said, oh, no school from tomorrow until announced. And yes, it was crazy in the first week to 10 days. How do we try to accumulate and pick up all the strategies and stuff that we need to do? It was tough from mid-March to June end, that's when a school year ends, to go and try to do online, but we passed through, we sailed through it. And we learned a lot with pros and cons and stuff that we need to do. With our constant being in touch with the superintendent and the Board of Education, we had a lot of surveys taken across with all the faculty, and we came down with something that we could try to do the best for our learners. I would like to start first with a little quote with Emily W. King. And she says, do not go into this school year with 2019 goals. This is 2020, have 2020 goals. I'm sure we do have each year, but we do carry a lot from the previous year. And we try to, change and amend things as to our situations. But this situation, something so unexpected and all of a sudden, has really put a lot of question mark for everybody. So we do have to consider safety. connection between our co-workers, between the school system, between our parents, the students. We have to take care of our physical and mental wellness, and of course, maintain good relationships in all aspects. It's something that we always do on a regular basis, but this time it is something different. So the new normal teaching for me, it's really weird, and it's weird just like what Ms. Purima Contractor we spoke about earlier. We lack that physical connection with our learners. We enjoy because having them in front of you, and the joy that we have in giving and teaching is so nothing close to what we do in distance learning. It's totally different. Let me tell you how things work a little bit of here. I live in the East Coast of the US, and it's a public school system. The public school system goes district-wise, which is like town-wise, and they have the elementary and the middle and the high school, everything coming into one system. It's not one single building. So we have 4 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. As we are sticking on to early years, I'm going to talk in the place where I work in the elementary school. So we do have the Board of Education that is run by a district council, and they come up with the rules that are set up, and of course, taking into consideration the rules that are set up by the government as well. So combined together, taking a survey from the faculty, from the parents, we've come up with a hybrid model that we are working this year. The hybrid model is a model that was given a choice to the parents, that they could choose what they want to do to educate their students. So there were 3 categories. One was a complete distance learning, that's online classes. 2 is coming to school every day. And the 3rd model was a combination of you sent to school partly, and partly you're doing online learning. This school year, of course, being weird, we have a 4-day school week for students. That's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday is left for our planning and certain online planning stuff with our students or meeting with the parents. We focus on reading, writing, math, social studies, and science in these years. Let me explain the hybrid model that we are following. The distance learning, of course, everything is totally online, and the worksheets and the reading stuff and what is being read in class are prior recorded by the teachers, and we put it up online. We have an app that says Seesaw. So everything is in there, and the children get to do their worksheets on that app. And whatever they do at home, they download it and they put it on that app. And then we get to know and we get to see what they do. We comment on their work. That's the motivation we give them. And we do see and have sessions with children online and when we teach them. And in school for 4 days, the student is allowed to come on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's like the regular school working day where he or she gets to participate whole 100%. We do send sometimes a little bit of worksheet at home. It all depends. And the combination that we have, now most of the parents have opted for this combination. That's a mixed learning. So we have students who are divided into cohorts. So they are a small group like of 10 or 11 students maximum, not more than 15, because we have to maintain that social distancing of 6 feet. So we have 2 groups that, let me say group A and group B. So group A comes on Monday and Thursdays, and group B, they come to school on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, so what is taught on Monday is taught for group A is taught to group B on Tuesdays. And what is taught to group A on Thursdays is taught to group B on Fridays. Now, when group A on Monday is in school, group B is at home. And we try to synchronize our teaching by putting stuff online as well. Okay, So there is 2 days in school and 2 days online, which is most preferred by the parents here. So this makes it a little easy for us. So having like 10 or 11 students in class and maintaining social distancing and trying to focus and give. Yes, it is double work, but I think it's more easier for us to reach and accomplish our target. So other days, the other students, they continue to work online with, I said, their regular worksheets, their reading, they post their reading, they upload their reading into the app. We get to hear them, we give them comments, we give them feedback. We know where they lack and what they lack in, whether it's pronunciation or certain letters or alphabets that they get stuck on. We do have sheets that we send where they can actually practice and trace and go online. So that's the facility they get. Our regular school day, we start in the mornings. Like for example, let me talk about kindergarten, since we're talking about early years. We start with, like, for example, a morning meeting. So when we do a morning meeting, we do talk about the date, the weather, etc., and stuff that way. So this is again going online with the students, where they can either color the date, you know, which day is it today, what date it is today. So just as what we do something in class. So what we do something in class, are the students are doing the same thing at home. And then we have worksheets, and the worksheets are done physically in class. Now, when we do those worksheets on Monday, the same worksheets are repeated and given it on Tuesday. Now, I know it does seem a repetition because we have 2 different set of students here. And it is time consuming, it is exhausting, but our target is to reach our learners and do what we need to do and give them what they deserve, you know? So our curriculum this time is a little different. We have really shortened it a little bit because we wouldn't have the time, but hopefully as we move, we just started a school year in September first week. So we are just into the teething things and trying and learning stuff that way. So let me get back to uploading and doing on Seesaw that we all do. Besides, of course, we actually do a lot of Google meeting with our students. We have faced challenges like with the attention span, the concentration, because the student is not in front of you, and into the environment he or she is, the home environment is so comfortable that they just get into their fun mode, play mode, and they would love to sit or run around the room and not look at you, not focus. But it is nice, especially with the special kids and even the general ed too, the parents being at home. So there's always a parent who sits and monitors and guides the students. So that is a plus point for us, having cooperation from the parent, most of the parents, I should say. And that's how we conduct our Google Meet, and we go ahead and proceed with our curriculum. Now we do have a total of 5 specials in our school. They are art, music, wellness, media, that's library, and technology. So this year it's a little different, where we are just taking 2 specials at a time. And those 2 specials are run for a period of 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, we shift to the next 2 specials. So at present, let me continue to stick with kindergarten. We do have specials that are like media and art. Usually the students go to the art room or go to the media room. You know, it's a different environment, a different room, a different setting that motivates you when you look at stuff around. But this time, we have restricted the movement of the children. So the teachers, they do come across and they come to the class with all the stuff that they need. So we have individual packets, like for art, we have individual packets right from papers to paints and brush and crayons and everything that you would need for art in a Ziploc bag, a huge Ziploc bag, and each child gets his own packet. So here we are not sharing materials, okay, because we do not want that touch to move. So each child gets his or her own material and they work about with following directions of the teacher. So again, we go back to a little bit using technology on the smart board, as well as physically showing things to the students and guiding them and showing them. So, and in media, again, we are using both technology and in-person talking. So when the media specialist comes to class and, for example, she reads a book to the students, that is pre-recorded earlier, and the students who are at home, they get to see and listen to the same story and the same book at home. And they get to talk and say something, what was the best thing they liked about the book, and who was the best character they liked of the book, and why did they like it. So it goes hand in hand. We are parallel, even though we have few students totally online and most of the students who are twice a week online. We do give them mask breaks because it's so important. It's very difficult, even as adults, I'm sure you will agree, but you guys are at home. So when we go to school, it's really difficult for us to have that mask continuously on us. And you feel like you're breathing the same air, and it is difficult. So we do so totally understand with the kids. They do sometimes get out of control, but we keep reminding them. We talk to them on their level, how important it is and why it is important because of the type of germs that are there outside. We've educated parents and have them talk to their children too on their level too, so that they understand how important it is to keep your mask on, how important it is to keep washing your hands and not touching other stuff, and touching hands anywhere, whether it's the door handle or the walls on the hallway. And, you just have to be too careful. But they are kids. The kids are kids. So it is a little challenging. So we do give them mask breaks, like I should say around 80 to 90 minutes, we have breaks. So during those breaks, each child gets his or her shield. It's like plastic shield that's set up in front of them where they can pull down their masks and keep it aside. And they get to just breathe in and they get to talk normally like how they would do. So these mask breaks are there. We give them a lot of brain breaks. Brain breaks are something that generally after an activity or something that we do, we would have something put up on the smart board, and they would copy it, be a small little minute video dance or something for concentration or something just for focusing or something like gross motor skills. You're just maybe exercising, but it's all in a fun way. So they have brain breaks as well in between, so it doesn't get too taxing for them to sit in one place. So they do get to move. We do not have circle time and something like that because it's totally it's different this time. So we try to have, and we've taped the 6 feet apart distance so they know where to stand and to do our activities during that time. Of course, there's a lot of use of sanitizer and wipes, and they're taught how to do it. There's a lot of safety protocols that we need to follow in school, and we teach students too. The blocks that can be one way, so we have like a one-way traffic flow or human traffic flow that goes, so we are not coming across too many people. So it's just like a one-way traffic. So many a times we see, especially the teachers circling around the building just because we need to reach a certain place and following the one-way traffic flow. That's what is taught. So it's somewhat like disciplining the child and trying to have him or her, just try to listen and seeing a set of rules for them that, yes, sometimes things do work in such fashion. We do have different arrival and departure procedures this time where we don't have parents entering the school. and they would be in their cars to pick up the children. And if it's a school bus, there are very few parents who have actually opted out for the school bus because we have to maintain those distance. We have a bus monitor who's there to take care of the kids so that they are safe and they are not touching or getting too close to each other. And the departure procedure for the pickups, like the parent pickups who come in, are, of course, they come in and drive through by the car. We have given them the child's picture and the name where they tag it up on the glass window, and they don't even have to roll down the glasses because we know, oh, this is the name of the child and which grade he or she is. So this time procedure for departing the students are really time consuming because we are still trying to figure out stuff. Generally, it would take something like around 10 to 12 minutes, but this time it's going up to almost like 25 minutes. But safety is our aim. That's the base that we need to follow. So keeping that in mind, we do try to keep the children sitting and waiting for their parents even at a 6 feet distance. We have segregated the different doors of the building for certain grades that are there. And for the buses too, they have been called out. So we just call 2 buses at a time. So we know that there's not too much of traffic and people moving or touching and doing stuff. We do also see to it that if a child is sick, even if it's a normal, genuine cold or a cough, the child is quarantined for like 2 weeks at home and then sent, unless and until he or she is tested and the test is negative, is let come. But most of the time the child is quarantined. We do not want to pressure too much of academics because it's health and safety first. And we do have, of course, our school nurse who goes around and keeps checking on and takes the temperature every time there's a child that enters for whatever reason, something that even it's not related to. We do have breaks where we take our children outside in the playground and the playscape. So that's when, again, they get to get their masks off. Our lunch system is, of course, different. So it's just like 1 grade at a time. And since we have not more than an average of, I would say, 20 students in each class, so with those huge lunchrooms gives us an advantage of keeping the students.
अभी मम्मा का फोन दीजिए ना, फोटो नहीं निकलेगा.
That's the advantage that we have at lunch. Traffic room again during lunch, keeping 6 feet in distance apart. And yes, and we have real supportive faculty, and we all tend to be on the same page. We almost have meetings, almost, I should say, 4 times a week in the morning before school starts. Wednesday is our total meeting period, talking about all our pros and cons, all the advantages and the disadvantages that we have experienced. How do we rectify? We share our strategies, and how do we do to improvise things? And there are some students who are doing just online. So if needed on Wednesdays, we do cater to them. And this year we do have certain teachers, like 1 teacher in every grade who takes care of only the online students. So we have 3 sections in every grade. So 2 grades have students coming personally and physically in class, and 1 teacher who just takes care only of online sessions. And Wednesday, just as I said, is our planning period that pulls us all during the week. So this is the new learning, uncomfortable model that we are still developing. I wouldn't say it's developed and done and fixed. No, we are still working on things and trying to make learning happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandra, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. I think that was a good, some very good tips shared as we gear up to open our school, the mask break, the brain break. I'm sure people participating in the webinar can pick up some points from it. So now as we move on to our next speaker, Purnima ma'am gave us an overview of the pandemic and its impact on the children nationwide. राइट, कि हमारी कंट्री में उसका क्या असर हुआ, बच्चों पे, पेरेंट्स पे, टीचर्स पे, स्टेक होल्डर्स, स्कूल ओनर्स पे। सैंड्रा ने हमको बताया कि इंटरनेशनली उनका स्कूल ईयर अभी 1 हफ्ते पहले चालू हुआ है और वो लोग क्या क्या प्रैक्टिसेस कर रहे हैं न्यू नॉर्मल के लिए, बच्चों को कंफर्टेबल फील कराने के लिए। बट लाइक आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर सेड, वोकल अबाउट लोकल। हमारे अपने शहर में क्या हो रहा है, नवी मुंबई में जब पैंडेमिक हुआ, क्या क्या सिचुएशन थी, बच्चे, टीचर्स क्या कर रही है। हमारी एनएमएमसी आई थिंक इसके लिए बेस्ट पर्सन होंगी बताने के लिए मिसेस ऋतुका संखे, जो एनएमएमसी की एक्सटेंशन ऑफिसर हैं, एंड right now currently she is in charge of online teaching and she has all NMMC schools under her, from where she is, you know, she has flagged off the online teaching program जो उन्होंने अप्रैल ही में शुरू कर दिया। तो हम यहाँ सोच रहे हैं इंडिया में क्या हुआ, इंटरनेशनली यूएस क्या कर रहा है, लेकिन हमारे अपने नवी मुंबई में हमारे ऑफिसर्स, हमारे एजुकेशन ऑफिसर्स और एनएमएमसी क्या कर रही है, ये हमको बताएंगी मिसेस संखे। मिसेस संखे, आपके लिए।
पहले तो मेरा सबको मेरा नमस्ते। मेरा आवाज आ रहा है?
यस मैम।
ओके। इंडियन वुमेन्स साइंटिस्ट एसोसिएशन, इस संस्था की जो सिल्वर जुबली है उसके लिए मेरी तरफ से, हमारे नवी मुंबई की तरफ से शुभेच्छा। और मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि जो सुधा राव मॅडम आहे त्यांच्या बरोबर आम्ही मागील 3-4 वर्षापासून वेगवेगळे शैक्षणिक उपक्रम घेतो आहोत। त्यांचा खूप सारा सपोर्ट आमच्या ह्या शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रमामध्ये मिळत असतो, त्याबद्दल पहिला सुधाराव मॅडमचेही धन्यवाद। आज मला नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेच्या वतीने आमचे शिक्षणाधिकारी आहेत योगेश कडुसकर साहेब यांनी जी बोलण्याची संधी दिली त्याबद्दल पहिल्यांदा त्यांचेही आभार। आपल्याला सगळ्यांनाच माहिती आहे की 24 मार्चला लॉकडाऊन सुरू झाला, त्यापूर्वीच महाराष्ट्रात 2 दिवस आधीच लॉकडाऊनला सुरुवात झाली होती आणि असं दिसायला लागलं की हळूहळू सगळंच ठप्प होतंय, इव्हन शाळा सुद्धा ठप्प झाल्या। पहिल्यांदा मार्चचा जो पूर्ण 12 दिवसाचा कालावधी होता त्या दिवसामध्ये काय करायचं या संबंधी पुढे काही विजन नव्हतं किंवा असा कधी आपण विचारच केला नव्हता की कधीतरी आपल्यावरती अशी सुद्धा वेळ येणार आहे। त्याच्यामुळे आपण पहिल्यांदा सुरुवातीला काय करावं ह्या विचाराने पुढे चाललोच होतो। त्याच दरम्यानमध्ये सर्व शाळा पूर्ण बंद होत्या आणि मग मुलांना कसं शिक्षणात टिकवून ठेवायचं, मुलांचा शिक्षणाचा प्रवाह कसा सुरू ठेवायचा या संदर्भामध्ये विचार करण्याची प्रक्रिया सुरू झाली। सुरुवातीला 28 एप्रिलला पहिला GR आला महाराष्ट्र शासनाचा की ज्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी म्हटलं होतं की लर्निंग फ्रॉम होम, घरीच राहा, सुरक्षित राहा, पण घरून आणि घरी असणाऱ्या मुलांचं शिक्षण सुरू करा। कारण शिक्षण सुरू नसेल तर पुढची सगळीच प्रक्रिया समजावता येणार नाही आणि म्हणून शिक्षणाला जर सुरुवात करायची असेल तर ती आपण घरूनच सुरुवात करूया आणि ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाचा प्रवाह तिथून सुरू झाला। प्रथम असं लक्षात आलं की ऑनलाईन शिक्षण करणं म्हणजे नेमकं काय करायचं। मग शेवटी मी वेगवेगळे अभ्यास केला किंवा वेगवेगळे सेमिनार अटेंड केलेच होते। त्याच्यामुळे आम्हाला थोडंफार माहीतच होत चाललं होतं की आपल्याला काहीतरी वेगळं करायचंय आणि हे वेगळं म्हणजे नेमकं काय करायचं। ऍक्च्युली पूर्ण एप्रिल महिना म्हणजे हा GR निघण्यापूर्वीच आमचे काही शिक्षक असे होते की जे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक होते आणि ह्या तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षकांनी ऑलरेडी आपल्या मुलांच्या बरोबर कन्व्हर्सेशनच्या पद्धतीने किंवा टेलिकॉन्फरन्सच्या मदतीने मुलांशी इंटरॅक्ट त्या करत होत्या आणि त्याच्यामुळे आम्हाला एक वेगळी आयडिया त्याच्यापासून अजून मिळाली की आपल्याला याच्यामध्ये काहीतरी वेगळं करता येईल। आम्ही मग सुरुवातीला काय केलं की तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षकांचे गट तयार करायला सुरुवात केली। आधी आमच्या नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकाच नव्हे तर संपूर्ण महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 2015 साली प्रगत शैक्षणिक महाराष्ट्राचा एक GR आला। तसं म्हणायला गेलं तर ह्या GRच्या अनुषंगाने ज्ञानरचनावाद जो नवीन अध्यापन पद्धती सुरू झाली त्यामुळे तंत्रज्ञानाशी त्याला कसं जोडायचं, म्हणजे तंत्रज्ञानाची खरी तर एक वेगळ्या प्रकारची प्रगती या काळापासूनच सुरू झाली होती. म्हणजे आम्ही या काळामध्ये म्हणजे 2015 पासून तर 2020 पर्यंत आमच्याकडे ऑलरेडी तंत्रज्ञानाने कसं शिकवायचं, तंत्रज्ञानाचा सपोर्ट कसा घ्यायचा, याचं ऑलरेडी आमच्याकडे शिक्षण पद्धती सुरूच होती. याच्यामध्ये तत्कालीन जे शिक्षण सचिव होते नंदकुमार साहेब यांनी खऱ्या अर्थाने या शिक्षण क्षेत्रामध्ये तंत्रज्ञानाची प्रगती केली असं म्हणता येईल. कारण शिक्षकांना तंत्रज्ञानाच्या मदतीने कसं शिकवायचं हे या मागील 3-4 वर्षामध्ये सगळ्या शिक्षकांना त्याची हळूहळू सवय होत चालली होती. दुसरा एक महत्वाचा मुद्दा की नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेने नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेच्या ज्या स्थानिक शाळा आहेत अशा या स्थानिक शाळांमध्ये ऑलरेडी ई लर्निंग व्यवस्था सुरू केली होती. म्हणजे प्रत्येक वर्गासाठी ई लर्निंग व्यवस्था, पहिलीपासून असेल किंवा बालवाडीपासून असेल, ह्या प्रत्येक वर्गापासून ते इयत्ता 10वी पर्यंतच्या प्रत्येक वर्गासाठी ई लर्निंग व्यवस्था सुरू केली होती. म्हणजे तंत्रज्ञानाची जोड तर मिळाली होती, त्याबरोबर इंटरॅक्टिव्ह बोर्ड, प्रोजेक्टर ही सर्व तंत्रज्ञानाची माध्यमे एकत्र आल्यामुळे तंत्रज्ञानाच्या सहाय्याने कसं शिक्षण द्यायचं याचं ऑलरेडी सर्व शिक्षकांना प्रशिक्षण आणि ते शिक्षण देण्याची योजना किंवा हे सगळं सुरू होतं. पण ज्या वेळेला लॉकडाऊन झालं आणि त्याच्यानंतर एप्रिलमध्ये 28 एप्रिलला जो प्रथम GR आला की लर्निंग फ्रॉम होम, मग त्या अनुषंगाने आम्ही त्याच जे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक होते त्या शिक्षकांचा एक छान ग्रुप तयार केला. या ग्रुपच्या माध्यमातून आपल्याला नेमकं काय करता येईल यासाठी विचार करायला सुरुवात केली. त्याच वेळेला सन्माननीय आयुक्त, तत्कालीन सन्माननीय आयुक्त मिसाळ साहेब होते. साहेबांनी आमची एक मीटिंग घेतली आणि त्या मीटिंगच्या अनुषंगाने आम्हाला त्यांनी विचारलं की आपण नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेची जी शाळा आहे या शाळांच्या मुलांसाठी तुम्ही काय करणार आहात. कारण आपल्याकडे शाळेत येणारी जी मुलं आहेत ती सामाजिक स्तर, त्याचा आर्थिक स्तर खालचा असल्यामुळे त्यांच्यासाठी आपल्याला काहीतरी वेगळं करण्याची गरज आहे. आणि म्हणून त्यांनी असं आम्हाला एक सूचना केली की आपल्या नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेचं एक YouTube चॅनेल जर आपण सुरू करू शकलो आणि त्याच्या YouTube चॅनेलवरती आपल्या शिक्षकांनी म्हणजे आपले नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेचे जे काही शिक्षक आहेत या शिक्षकातून जे उत्कृष्ट शिक्षक आहेत, ज्यांना तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक आहेत, अशा शिक्षकांच्या माध्यमातून जर आपण हे YouTube चॅनेल सुरू केलं, त्या YouTube चॅनेलवरती आदर्श पाठ, नमुना पाठ असे आपण जर तयार करून टाकले तर यासाठी आपल्या मुलांचं एक चांगल्या पद्धतीने शिक्षण होईल. आणि मग अशा पद्धतीने हा एक नवीन विचार सुरू झाला. कारण बदलत्या काळानुसार आपल्याला बदलणं ही खूप गरजेची गोष्ट असते आणि त्यामुळे आम्ही सुरुवातीला प्रथम ठरवलं की आपल्याला नवी मुंबई करता एक वेगळ्या पद्धतीचं ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाला सुरुवात करायची. मग त्याच्यानंतर असा विचार दिसला की नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिका स्तरात येणारे जे विद्यार्थी आहेत ते वेगवेगळ्या स्तरातून येणारे विद्यार्थी आहेत, त्यांचा सामाजिक स्तर, आर्थिक स्तर या सगळ्याचा विचार करणं गरजेचं होतं. यासाठी आमच्या नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेच्या शिक्षकांनी खूप साथ दिली. त्यांनी एक आपल्या स्तरावरती आम्ही त्यांना एक फॉर्मॅट बनवून दिला आणि तिथे एक सर्वे करण्यात आला. प्रत्येक मुलाशी आपल्याला इंटरॅक्ट कसं होता येईल, त्या मुलापर्यंत कसं पोहोचता येईल यासाठी महत्वाचं साधन आहे ते म्हणजे अँड्रॉइड फोन. मग असा स्मार्टफोन आपल्या किती विद्यार्थ्यांकडे आहे हे जेव्हा आम्ही सर्वे केला तेव्हा आमच्या असं लक्षात आलं की जवळजवळ 70% विद्यार्थी असे आहेत की जे त्यांच्या पालकांकडे किमान एक तरी अँड्रॉइड फोन आहे. त्याच्या माध्यमातून आपण विद्यार्थ्यांशी कनेक्ट होऊ शकतोय. दुसरं एक आम्हाला असं दिसलं की 15 ते 20% असे काही विद्यार्थी आहेत की ज्यांच्याकडे साधा फोन आहे आणि काही विद्यार्थी तर असे आहेत जे 5 ते 10% होते की ज्यांच्याकडे कुठलीही फोनची सुविधा नाही. आत्ताच्या परिस्थितीमध्ये आपण असे विचार करतोय की आपल्याला ऑनलाईन पद्धतीने आपल्या सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत आपल्याला पोहोचायचे. मग ह्या विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत आपल्याला पोहोचताना आपल्याला 2-3 गोष्टींचा महत्वाचा विचार केला पाहिजे की आपले विद्यार्थी जे आहेत ते लहान आहेत, त्यांचं वय लहान आहे, त्यांचा सामाजिक स्तर कोणता आहे आणि त्यांची गरज काय आहे या सगळ्यांचा विचार करून खेळीमेळीच्या पद्धतीने आपल्याला कशा प्रकारचं ऑनलाईन शिक्षण देता येईल याचा विचार करण्यात आला. आणि मग आमच्या शिक्षकांनी इतके सुंदर व्हिडिओ बनवले की आजही तुम्ही युट्यूब चॅनेल जर सर्च केलं शिक्षण एज्युकेशन, तर आपल्याला खूप सारे व्हिडिओ असे दिसतील. ते मी व्हिडिओ तुम्हाला नंतर एक उदाहरण दाखवणार आहे. पण आधी आपण समजून घेऊया की नेमकी ऑनलाईन अध्यापनाच्या विविध पद्धतीमध्ये सुरुवातीला येताना आम्हाला काय काय करावं लागलं. आपल्याला असं माहित आहे की जेव्हा महाराष्ट्र शासनाने ऑलरेडी एक दीक्षा ऍप फार आधी म्हणजे मागच्या वर्षीपासून सुरू केलं होतं. या दीक्षा ऍप अतिशय उत्कृष्ट एक ऍप आहे ऑनलाईन शिक्षणासाठी. तुम्ही जर पहिल्या इमेज मध्ये बघत असाल तर ते दीक्षा ऍपचं ते लोगो आहे. या दीक्षा ऍप वरती सेकंड इमेज मध्ये तुम्हाला दिसेल की इथे भाषा सिलेक्ट करता येते. मग ह्याच्यामध्ये उर्दू आहे, मराठी आहे, हिंदी आहे, इंग्रजी आहे आणि तिसऱ्या ह्याच्यामध्ये टीचरला कोणत्या विषयावरती अध्यापन करायचंय, स्टुडंटला जर एखादं स्वयं अध्ययन करायचं असेल तरी सुद्धा, आणि पालकांना काही मार्गदर्शन करायचं असेल तरी सुद्धा ही तिसऱ्या इमेज मधून तुम्हाला ते सिलेक्ट करता येतं. आता या दीक्षा ऍपच्या माध्यमातून जवळजवळ 9,000 व्हिडिओ आहेत. या दीक्षा ऍप वरती 9,000 व्हिडिओ ऑलरेडी अपलोड आहेत. आपल्याला जे व्हिडिओ हवे आहेत, जे आपल्याला विषय, आपला इयत्ता, आपली भाषा आपण निवडली की आपल्याला जो व्हिडिओ हवे आहे तो आपण त्याच्यावरनं बघू शकतो किंवा त्याची लिंक आपण शेअर करू शकतो. या दीक्षा ऍप वरती इंटरॅक्टिव्ह व्हिडिओ आहेत, संकल्पनेवर आधारित सुद्धा व्हिडिओ आहेत, उपक्रमावर आधारित सुद्धा व्हिडिओ आहेत, काही याच्यामध्ये बौद्धिक खेळ सुद्धा आहेत, तर काही संगीतावर आहेत. तर त्याच्यामध्ये एवढंच नाही तर विद्यार्थ्यांचं मूल्यमापन कसं घेता येईल त्याच्यासाठी सुद्धा काही वर्कशीट्स आहेत, काही इंटरॅक्टिव्ह प्रश्नपेढ्या सुद्धा आहेत. म्हणजे सर्वात महाराष्ट्र शासनाने दीक्षा ऍप हे अतिशय वापरण्यास सुलभ, सोपं आणि ऑफलाईन, कुठेही इथे इंटरनेटची गरज नाही, ऑफलाईन पद्धतीने वापरता येईल असं हे साधन. मग या दीक्षा ऍपचा आम्हाला आमच्या शिक्षणामध्ये लिंक जोडण्यासाठी खूप मोठा उपयोग झाला. दुसरी पद्धत आम्ही ऑनलाईन साठी वापरली ती म्हणजे व्हॉट्सअप. तर व्हॉट्सअप हे आम्हाला असं लक्षात आलं की 70% जे विद्यार्थी आहेत की ज्यांच्याकडे अँड्रॉइड फोन आहे, मग त्या फोनच्या माध्यमातून प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्याशी संपर्क आमच्या शिक्षकांनी साधला आणि प्रत्येकाला कोणती वेळ कन्व्हिनियंट आहे त्या पद्धतीने त्यांनी ग्रुप तयार केले आणि या ग्रुपच्या माध्यमातून एक त्यांना काय शिकवायचंय त्याची आम्ही जी लिंक तयार करत होतो व्हिडिओची, ती व्हिडिओची लिंक त्या मुलांना पाठवली जायची. त्याच्यामध्ये 1ली पासून ते 10वी पर्यंत अशा 10 लिंक असायच्या. त्याचबरोबर त्याच्यामध्ये आणखीन आम्ही एक्स्ट्रा जी सामाजिक भान ठेवून आम्ही अशा व्हिडिओ तयार केल्या होत्या की ज्याच्यामध्ये कोविड ह्या आजारावरती आपण आपलं सामाजिक अंतर ठेवून कसं राहिलं पाहिजे, त्यासाठी आपण काय काय आपण त्याचं अवेअरनेस आपल्यामध्ये त्याबाबत आला पाहिजे, यासाठी सुद्धा अशा व्हिडिओ
आपके पास पैसा है, मुझे तो यही सब हो रहा है कि हम तक ये सारी चीजें सोच है, ये करने ये करने ये करने ये करने. द मेन थिंग इज दैट क्या.
हॅलो. आणि मग अशा पद्धतीने ही ऑनलाईनची व्हॉट्सअप पद्धती सुरू झाली. मग व्हॉट्सअप मध्ये दोन्ही पद्धती आपल्याला येत होत्या. एक तर अध्यापनही करता येत होतं आणि त्याच्याबरोबर त्यांचं मूल्यमापनही करता येतं. आता तुम्हाला आपल्याला दिसेल की आम्ही असे काही इमेज तिथे घेतलेत की मुलांनी व्हॉट्सअप वरती जे मूल्यमापन केले ते सुद्धा त्यांचं मूल्यमापन ते चित्राच्या साह्याने किंवा त्याचं फोटो काढून आपल्या समोर दाखवू शकतायत. म्हणजे अतिशय सुलभ पद्धतीने आणि सोप्या पद्धतीने व्हॉट्सअप हे यूज करता आलं. तिसरी आम्ही ऑनलाईन साठी पद्धत अशी वापरली की ही ऑनलाईन पद्धत थोडीशी सगळ्याच शिक्षकांना वापरणं कठीण जात होतं सुरुवातीला, परंतु जसे जसे आम्ही त्यांच्या मीटिंग घेतल्या त्या मीटिंगच्या माध्यमातून त्यांना लक्षात यायला लागलं की अरे हे तर एकदम सोपं आहे. उदाहरणार्थ झूम मीटिंग असेल, गुगल मीट असेल, वेबएक्स असेल, ते त्यांना प्ले स्टोअर मध्ये जाऊन ते डाउनलोड करून घ्यायला सांगितलं आणि मग तिथे त्यांना सांगितलं की तुम्ही शिक्षक म्हणून ऍज अ फळ्यावर सुद्धा शिकवू शकताय किंवा ऍज अ तुम्हाला एखादी ऍक्टिव्हिटी करायची असेल तर तीही तुम्ही तिथे करून दाखवताय किंवा तुम्हाला त्या मुलांना इंटरॅक्शन मध्ये काही एखादी गोष्ट सांगायची आहे, काही स्पष्टीकरण द्यायचंय, एकाच वेळेला दोन्ही भाग करू शकतायत. हे जेव्हा आमच्या शिक्षकांच्या लक्षात आलं त्यावेळेला त्यांनी त्याचा चांगल्या पद्धतीने उपयोग करायला सुरुवात केली. मग एकाच वेळेला हे जे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षकांचे गट होते त्या शिक्षकांच्या माध्यमातून इतर शिक्षकांना, त्यांच्या शाळेतल्या इतर शिक्षकांना हे कसं वापरायचं याच्या पुढे याच्या बरोबरीने आपण सुद्धा कसं त्याच्यामध्ये जायचं, ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी त्यांना समजावून देऊन हे काम करू लागलो. त्याच्यामध्ये स्क्रीन तयार करून त्याच्यावरती आपण त्यांना पुस्तक सुद्धा PDF आहेत ई बालभारतीच्या, तर ती सुद्धा कशी दाखवायची याचंही त्यांना ट्रेनिंग दिलं. आणखीन एक आम्ही महत्वाचा मुद्दा त्यांच्यासाठी असं आमच्या लक्षात आलं, जेव्हा आमचे ऍडिशनल कमिशनर आहेत आमचे, त्यांनी एक आमची बैठक घेतली आणि त्या बैठकीतून एक मुद्दा महत्वाचा मांडला की आपण ठीक आहे YouTube चॅनेल आपण सुरू केले, आपले शिक्षक अतिशय छान पद्धतीने वेगवेगळे व्हिडिओज तयार करतायत, खूप चांगली गोष्ट आहे, परंतु प्रत्येक मूल याच्यामध्ये सहभागी होतंय की नाही हे आपल्याला कसं कळेल. मग यासाठी आम्ही शिक्षकांना सूचना केल्या, कारण एकाच सेंट्रलाइज स्तरावरती गुगल फॉर्म करणं ही गोष्ट शक्य नव्हती, त्याच्यासाठी सुद्धा आम्ही ऍडवाइस घेतले, परंतु ती शक्य होणारी गोष्ट नव्हती, कारण एकाच वेळेला 20 ते 25,000 विद्यार्थ्यांचे गुगल फॉर्म एकत्र करणं शक्य गोष्ट नव्हती. म्हणून मग आम्ही प्रत्येक शिक्षकाला गुगल फॉर्म शीट कशी तयार करायची याचं एक ट्रेनिंग घेतलं. आमच्याकडच्या एक शिक्षकांनी तशा पद्धतीचा एक व्हिडिओ तयार केला, तो आम्ही सगळ्यांना शेअर केला. त्या पद्धतीने आमच्या शिक्षकांनी हे गुगल फॉर्म तयार करायला सुरुवात केली. गुगल फॉर्म मध्ये जाऊन आपण क्रिएट गुगल फॉर्म केलं की आपल्याला तो गुगल फॉर्म तयार होतो. मग मला एखादा धडा शिकवायचा असेल, आता पहिल्या इमेज मध्ये तुम्हाला दिसेल की ती जी आहे ती गुगल फॉर्मची पहिली इमेज आहे. या इमेज मध्ये तुम्हाला कोणते प्रश्न विचारायचे, काय विचारायचंय, आणि तुम्हाला त्याची जर एक्सेल शीट हवी असेल, जी तिसरी इमेज तुम्हाला दिसते त्याच्यामध्ये विद्यार्थ्याचं नाव असेल, त्याची इयत्ता असेल, शिवाय त्यांनी व्हिडिओ पाहिला की नाही, आणि पाहिला असेल तर त्यांनी जे मूल्यमापन केलं, त्याचे जे प्रश्न सोडवले, त्याला किती गुण मिळाले हे सुद्धा तिथे दिसू शकते. दुसऱ्या स्क्रीन मध्ये, दुसऱ्या इमेज मध्ये आपल्याला किती विद्यार्थी त्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी झाले होते त्याचा आलेख सुद्धा दिसू शकतोय. म्हणजे आपण गुगल फॉर्मच्या माध्यमातून विद्यार्थ्यांना ऑनलाईन मूल्यमापन आपल्याला कसं करता येईल, एखादा घटक शिकवतोय आणि त्या घटकाच्या माध्यमातून तिथे येणारा एखादा प्रश्न आहे, त्या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर त्यांनी शोधायचं, 4 पर्याय असतील, त्याचं उत्तर शोधायचं, ते उत्तर जर बरोबर असेल तरच गुगल फॉर्म पुढे जाईल, अदरवाईज तो गुगल फॉर्म तिथे स्टॉप होईल. पुन्हा त्याला आधीचा व्हिडिओ बघावा लागेल, त्याचं उत्तर त्याला नेमकं मिळवावं लागेल, ते उत्तर एकदा करेक्ट आलं की पुढे तो व्हिडिओ पुन्हा पुढच्या घटकासाठी सुरू होईल. अशा पद्धतीने या गुगल फॉर्मचा सुद्धा आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांना फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात उपयोग होतोय. मुलं एक चांगल्या पद्धतीनं त्याचा उपयोग करून घेत आहेत. ऑनलाईन मध्ये अजून एक आमच्या शिक्षकांनी, म्हणजे वेगवेगळ्या, जेव्हा हे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक आता हळूहळू वाढायला लागले होते, सगळे शिक्षक ह्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी झाले होते. सुरुवातीला 3री ते आपण 10वी पर्यंतचे YouTube चॅनलच्या माध्यमातून आपण आदर्श पाठ, नमुना पाठ तयार करून घेत होतो. पण त्याच्यानंतर 22 जुलैला एक नवीन GR आला की यामध्ये प्री प्रायमरी आणि 2री पर्यंतच्या सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांना सुद्धा ह्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी करून घ्यायचं आहे. मग यासाठी आपल्याला काय करता येईल, तर मुलांना एक पुस्तकाचं खूप आकर्षण असतं. ऍक्च्युली पुस्तक हे जरी माध्यम असलं तरी पुस्तकात असणारी चित्र मुलांना खूप आवडतात. तर पहिल्यांदा आमच्याकडनं नवी मुंबई महानगरपालिकेने जी पुस्तकं आली होती शासनाची, ती मुलांपर्यंत वाटप करण्यात आली. ती वाटप करताना पूर्णपणे सोशल डिस्टन्सिंगचं भान ठेवून कोणत्याही पॅरेंट्सला किंवा पालकांना त्रास होणार नाही इतक्या चांगल्या पद्धतीनं पुस्तकाचं वाटप करण्यात आलं. पण तरी सुद्धा जर आपल्याला फ्लिपबुकच्या माध्यमातून सुद्धा जर ही अशी पुस्तकांचं पूर्ण इमेज किंवा आपल्याला कुठला धडा घ्यायचा आहे हेही दाखवता येत असेल तर त्या सुद्धा साठी आमच्या काही शिक्षकांनी असा प्रयत्न केला आणि या फ्लिपबुकच्या माध्यमातून सुद्धा आज आमच्याकडे ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाची पद्धत सुरू आहे. आता हा सगळा भाग झाला, आपण वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने करत आलो. पण जो महत्वाचा भाग होता तो होता व्हिडिओ मेकिंग. कारण हे एवढं सोपं काम नाहीये की व्हिडिओ तयार करणं, म्हणजे मोबाईल समोर धरला आणि आपण काय करतोय दाखवलं म्हणजे व्हिडिओ तयार झाला असं म्हणता येत नाही. कारण व्हिडिओ एखादा तयार करायचा असेल तर त्यासाठी फार प्रत्येक बारीक सारीक गोष्टींचा विचार करावा लागतो. म्हणजे सुरुवातीला आम्ही जेव्हा शिक्षकांना म्हटलं की आपल्याला व्हिडिओ तयार करायचे, यासाठी प्रथम आम्ही एक अशा पद्धतीने काम केलं की तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षकांचा जो ग्रुप होता यांच्या मीटिंग्स घेतल्या, त्यांना कसे ग्रुप तयार करता येतील च्या संदर्भामध्ये त्यांना माहिती दिली. त्याच्यानंतर माझ्या शिक्षकांना मी 8 दिवसाचा कालावधी दिला आणि ह्या 8 दिवसामध्ये तुम्हाला काय सुचते ते विचार करा. तुम्हाला त्याच्यातून व्हिडिओ बनवण्यासाठी काय मार्गदर्शन हवे, तुम्ही मला कधीही कॉल करू शकता, काय गरज लागेल. आमचे जे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक आहेत त्यांचीही तुमच्याशी आपण चर्चा करूया आणि हे व्हिडिओ तयार करण्याची पद्धत आधी शिकून घेऊया. मग ह्याच्यासाठी आम्ही पहिल्यांदा झूमच्या मीटिंग घेतल्या, वेबएक्स करणं मीटिंग घेतल्या. या मीटिंगच्या माध्यमातून तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक ज्यांचं ऑलरेडी आमच्याकडे एक प्रशिक्षण झालं होतं 2019-20 मध्ये मूक प्रशिक्षण. या मूक प्रशिक्षणामध्ये असं ह्या तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षकांना व्हिडिओ कसे तयार करायचे ह्याचं खास करून ट्रेनिंग दिलं होतं आणि त्यांच्याकडनं तसे ते व्हिडिओ सुद्धा तयार केले गेले होते. हे मूक ट्रेनिंग म्हणजे डाएटच्या माध्यमातून दिलं होतं आणि त्याच्यामुळे या जे तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक होते ह्यांना नेमका व्हिडिओ कसा तयार करायचा याची माहिती थोड्याफार प्रमाणात होती. म्हणून मग आम्ही अशा या शिक्षकांच्या मदतीने सुरुवातीला शिक्षकांना सांगितलं की तुम्ही तंत्रस्नेही शिक्षक म्हणून तुमचे आधी व्हिडिओ तयार करा. तुम्हाला काही अडचण आली तर तुम्ही माझ्याशी इंटरॅक्ट करू शकता. आणि मग त्याच्यानंतर पहिला एक व्हिडिओ तयार केला. ते आमचे शिक्षक आहेत ज्ञानेश्वर जाधव म्हणून आणि त्यांनी तो व्हिडिओ मला शेअर केला अगदी सकाळी सकाळी आणि मला म्हणाले मॅडम मी व्हिडिओ शेअर केलाय, जरा तुम्ही बघा तुम्हाला काय वाटतंय. मी तो व्हिडिओ पाहिला आणि खरंच मला म्हणजे खूप असं आनंदाने भरून आलं की जी आपल्याला सन्माननीय आयुक्त महोदयांनी चॅलेंज दिलं होतं की आपण आदर्श पाठ नमुने तयार करायचे, तर त्याच्यातला किमान होईल कसं, हे होणार कधी आणि कसं करणार यासाठी आपली बांधणी सुरू आहे, पण तो तयार करणं आणि येणं समोर याच्यासारखा दुसरा आनंद नव्हता. आणि मग मी त्या शिक्षकांना म्हटलं की तुमचा व्हिडिओ बऱ्यापैकी चांगला आहे पण त्याच्यात थोडे आपल्याला बदलच हवे आहेत आणि हे बदल करताना काय काय लक्षात घ्यायचं, तर व्हिडिओ बनवताना तुमचा ऑडिओ, व्हिडिओ, इमेज आणि त्याच्यातली तुम्ही जे त्याच्यातले इमेजेस जे काही वापरले आहेत ते कॉपीराईट फ्री आहेत की नाही हे पहिलं बघून घेणं गरजेचं आहे. कारण त्याच्यामध्ये जर एखादा व्हिडिओ तुम्ही तसाच्या तसा उचललात तिकडे आणि त्याचा कॉपीराईट इश्यू झाला तर तो आपल्याला पुढे त्रासदायक होऊ नये यासाठी ते पाहणं गरजेचं होतं. दुसरी महत्वाची बाब अशी होती की बऱ्याचदा शिक्षकांना आपल्याला अशी सवय असते की आपला चेहरा स्पष्ट दिसायला पाहिजे, त्याच्यामुळे फोन उभ्या पद्धतीने पकडला जायचा. मग मी त्यांना म्हटलं की नको, तुम्हाला फोन आपला आडवाच पकडायला हवा आणि व्हिडिओची फ्रेम ही साधारण 16:9 असावी, याच्यावर सगळ्यांनी कॉन्सन्ट्रेट करावं. दुसरा एक महत्वाचा मुद्दा होता की व्हिडिओ तुम्ही तयार करत होते शिक्षक, पण त्यांचे हे लक्षात येत नव्हतं की आपला वरती फिरणारा फॅनचा जो आवाज आहे किंवा आजूबाजूला जर कोणी बोललं किंवा आजूबाजूला कसलं पडण्याचा आवाज झाला तर तो त्याच्यामध्ये लगेच कॅच होतो. तर यासाठी आपल्याला काय करायला हवे, तर एकतर आपल्याला अशा वेळेला ते आवाज त्याचा एडिटिंग करायला पाहिजे की जेव्हा रात्र असेल किंवा आपल्याकडे आता तशा एडिटिंग करण्यासाठी रूम किंवा सुविधा उपलब्ध नसतील तरी सुद्धा आपल्या एका बेडरूम मध्ये दरवाजा बंद करून, फॅन बंद करून आणि अगदी सायलेंट असेल अशा पहाटेच्या वेळी जर आपण ते केलं तर तो आवाज सुद्धा अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीने शूट करता येतो. आणि हा आवाज थोडासा मोठा असावा की जेणेकरून तो आवाज स्पष्ट सुद्धा आपल्याला ऐकू येऊ शकतो. चौथी त्याच्यातली महत्वाची गोष्ट आम्ही शिक्षकांना समजावून दिली की ज्या वेळेला तुम्ही व्हिडिओ शूट करता त्यावेळेला जर प्रकाश योजना तुमच्या चेहऱ्यावर नसेल, म्हणजे प्रकाश तुमच्या चेहऱ्यावर नसेल तर तुम्ही तुमचा चेहरा जर मुलांना दिसला नाही तर त्यांना त्याच्यातला आनंदच वाटणार नाही. कारण जेव्हा विद्यार्थ्यांना कळतं की ह्या माझ्या शिक्षिका आहेत, त्यांचा चेहरा हसतमुख आहे आणि तो चेहरा जेव्हा त्यांना दिसतो त्यावेळेला तेही आनंदी होतात आणि म्हणून ते प्रकाश योजना चेहऱ्यावर पडेल अशी आपल्याला योजना करायला हवी. आणि जेव्हा आपण एखादा व्हिडिओ तयार करतो कुठल्याही विषयावरती, कुठल्याही घटकावरती, तर त्याच्यामध्ये नेमकं त्याची अध्ययन निष्पत्ती काय आहे, म्हणजे एखादा घटक आहे त्या घटकाच्या अनुषंगाने त्या विद्यार्थ्याला आपल्याला काय नेमकं शिकवायचंय आणि ती त्याच्या वर्तनात तो कसा बदल दिसणार आहे, ही अध्ययन निष्पत्ती अतिशय महत्वाची आहे. 6वी गोष्ट अशी की आपल्याला हे करायला हवे की ज्यावेळेला आपण तो मूल्यमापनाचा भाग घेतोय तर त्यावेळेला मूल्यमापन त्याच्यामध्ये असं असावं की मुलांना सांगावं की मी तुम्हाला आज 2-3 प्रश्न देणार आहेत, त्याची तुम्ही त्याची उत्तरं लिहा आणि मला व्हॉट्सअप वरती शेअर करा. अशाही पद्धतीने आपल्याला त्यांना सांगता येतं. म्हणजे मूल्यमापनाचं किंवा स्वाध्याय देणं आवश्यक आहे. आणि कुठलाही व्हिडिओ बनवताना तो 10 किंवा 15 मिनिटाच्या वर असू नये, कारण शेवटी तो युट्यूब चॅनल ऍक्सेप्ट करत नाही. आणि म्हणून ह्यासाठी ह्या मार्गदर्शक सूचनाच्या अनुषंगाने आम्ही त्यांना ट्रेनिंग दिलं. त्या ट्रेनिंग मध्ये असं आणखीन एक गोष्ट त्यांना दिली. आता तुम्हाला एक पहिली इमेज दिसत असेल, ती आहे कॅम्टासिया. आता ही कॅम्टासिया कशासाठी वापरलं जात आहे? आता हे आहे कॅम्टासिया आणि ऑडासिटी. ह्या ज्या 2 पहिल्या इमेज दिसत आहेत, ह्या आपल्याला पीसी वरती किंवा लॅपटॉप वरती व्हिडिओ एडिटिंग आणि ऑडिओ एडिटिंग साठी वापरता येतात. म्हणजे कॅम्टासिया ही व्हिडिओ एडिटिंग साठी आहे आणि ऑडासिटी ऑडिओ एडिटिंग साठी आहे. काही शिक्षक आपल्या फोनच्या माध्यमातूनच एडिटिंग आणि ऑडिओ एडिटिंग किंवा व्हिडिओ एडिटिंग करतात, तर त्यांच्यासाठी सुद्धा हे 2 पुढचे आहेत. एक काइन मास्टर आहे की जे आपल्याला व्हिडिओ एडिटिंग करण्यासाठी फार महत्वाचं ठरतं, आणि दुसरा आहे लॅक्सिस ऑडिओ एडिटर की जो आपल्याला त्या ह्याच्यामधला जे एडिटिंग आवाज ऑडिओ एडिटिंग करायचा आहे त्याच्यासाठी मदत करतं. पण हे दोन्ही शेवटचे जे आहेत ते आपल्याला मोबाईल वरती करण्यासाठी उपयोगी पडतात, आणि हे पहिले 2 जे आहेत ते आपल्याला लॅपटॉप वरती उपयोगी पडतात. अशा पद्धतीने त्यांना ऑनलाईनचं शिक्षण दिलं गेलं. मग शिक्षकांना एक आत्मविश्वास आपण ज्याला म्हणतो तो त्यांना असं वाटायला लागलं की हो, खरोखर आपण काही ना काहीतरी यासाठी काम करू शकतो. शिक्षकांनी जेव्हा त्यांना आम्ही एक असा जो ग्रुप तयार करत गेलो होतो, त्या ग्रुपच्या माध्यमातून ते व्हिडिओ आम्हाला पाठवायचे. आम्ही त्या ग्रुपमध्ये डिस्कशन करायचो की ह्या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपल्याला काय काय बदल हवेत. त्या पद्धतीने त्यांना करायला सांगायचो. पुन्हा तो आलेला व्हिडिओ पुन्हा एकदा चेक करायचं आणि मग आमच्या युट्यूब चॅनेलवरती तो टाकला जायचा. आणि अशा पद्धतीने हे आपलं ऑनलाईनचं काम सुरू होतं. आता आपण एक 2-3 फक्त व्हिडिओ बघूया आणि मग पुढे जाऊया. मिथिला व्हिडिओ ऑन कर. आता एक तुम्हाला व्हिडिओ एक म्हणजे उदाहरण दाखल एक आपण व्हिडिओ बघूया. आता ही जी तुम्हाला व्हिडिओची तुमच्या समोर दिसते ही एक आहे स्मार्ट पीडीएफ. आता ह्या स्मार्ट पीडीएफ मधून आपण लहान वर्गासाठी कशा पद्धतीने त्यांच्यासाठी ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाचा पर्याय देऊ शकतो. इथे तुम्हाला दिसते ग या शब्दावरनं गाय. आता या गाय वरती जर तुम्ही क्लिक केलं तर तुम्हाला गायीची संपूर्ण माहिती इथे तुम्हाला शेअर होते. क्लिक कर मिथिला, क्लिक. गाय या शब्दावरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर जो व्हिडिओ आहे तो गाय या ती काय करते, चारा खाते.
What is happening?
Businessmen from all over.
Why?
Chintu learned coding on White Hat Junior and made an app. They are fighting to invest in it.
He made an app at this age.
Every child in India will now learn coding online on whitehatjunior.com and make their own apps. Book a free class on whitehatjunior.com today.
मिथिला थोड़ा वेळ दाखवेल.
सांखे मैडम, हम वीडियो बाद में देखेंगे आफ्टर द लास्ट स्पीकर. विल दैट बी ओके?
ओके ओके, नो प्रॉब्लेम.
जी जी जी.
पद्धतीने पीडीएफ तयार झाल्यानंतर म्हणजे विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत सोप्या पद्धतीने लहान वर्गापर्यंत सुद्धा आम्हाला पोहोचता आलो. त्याच्यामध्ये असं मुलांनाही याचं अट्रॅक्शन वाटायला लागलं की हे छोटे छोटे पहिली दुसरीसाठी आणि प्री प्रायमरीसाठी कार्टून्सच्या माध्यमातून जर ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाची त्यांना सुविधा उपलब्ध करून दिली तर ते मजेने बघतात. पण असंही आपल्याला माहित असायला हवे की 22 जुलैचा जो शासन निर्णय आहे, या शासन निर्णयाच्या अनुषंगाने इथे स्पष्ट सूचना आहेत की पूर्व प्रायमरीचे जे विद्यार्थी आहेत ते लहान वयाचे आहेत, त्यांच्यासाठी कुठलाही मोठे व्हिडिओ किंवा कुठलंही सेशन ऑनलाईन त्यांच्यासाठी घेऊ नये. जर तुम्हाला त्यांच्यासाठी ऑनलाईन सेशन घ्यायचे असतील तर ते फक्त पालकांना मार्गदर्शन होईल अशा पद्धतीनेच घ्यायचे आहे. ते विद्यार्थी आई वडिलांशी होणारे इंटरॅक्ट शिक्षकाशी जे आहे ते बघतील आणि आपल्या या शिक्षिका आहेत किंवा आपल्या या क्लास टीचर आहेत ही फक्त त्यांच्यापुरती ओळख पुरेशी आहे. आणि टीचर त्या पॅरेंट्सला समजावून देतील की दिवसभरामध्ये आपल्याला आजच्या दिवसभरामध्ये कुठला कार्यक्रम घ्यायचा आहे किंवा कुठले उपक्रम घ्यायचे हे समजावून देईल आणि घरी पालक त्यांचा विद्यार्थ्यांचा अभ्यास घेतील. आता हे सेशन सोमवार ते शुक्रवार घ्यायला परवानगी आहे आणि तसंच फक्त 30 मिनिटाकरता पालकांशी संवाद साधण्यासाठी परमिशन आहे. कारण ही लहान मुलं आहेत, या लहान मुलांना टीव्ही स्क्रीन किंवा कुठल्याही ह्याच्यापासून जास्त वेळ त्यांना बघण्यासाठी ठेवणं ही एक चांगली गोष्ट नाहीये आणि म्हणून त्याच्यासाठी काही रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स आहेत ती आपल्याला पाळायलाच हवी. मग आम्ही काय केलं की जे आमचे बालवाडीचे विद्यार्थी आहेत, जवळजवळ 7,000 आमचे बालवाडीचे विद्यार्थी आहेत, या बालवाडी शिक्षकांना आम्ही प्रशिक्षण दिलं आणि प्रशिक्षणाच्या माध्यमातून आम्ही त्यांना हे सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न करतोय की तुम्ही मुलांपर्यंत पोहोचायचंय, पण कसं पोहोचायचंय तर पालकांशी आधी तुम्ही इंटरॅक्शन करायचंय, पालकांशी संवाद साधायचा आहे, पालकांना समजून द्यायचंय की आपल्याला मुलांपर्यंत कोणता आणि कसा अभ्यासक्रम पुढे न्यायचा आहे. त्याच्यानंतर आम्ही ही जी आता तुम्हाला मी स्मार्ट पीडीएफ दाखवली ती अतिशय उपयुक्त आहे. कारण ती जर तुम्ही त्यांना ऑनलाईनची एक लिंक दिली आणि त्याच्यावरती अशा स्मार्ट पीडीएफ पाठवल्या तर तिथे पालक त्यांच्या अँड्रॉइड फोनवरनं ती क्लिक करतात की तिथे त्यांचा व्हिडिओ दिसतो आणि त्याच्यामुळे त्या विद्यार्थ्यांना एक मजा येते की अरे वा छान, म्हणजे मला घरी बसून ते गाय तिचं चित्र, त्याच्यानंतर ती गाय कुठे चरते, कसं करते हे सगळं बघायलाही मुलांना आवडतं. दुसरं एक महत्वाचं की सह्याद्री चॅनेलवरती शासनाने टिलीमिली नावाचे एक चॅनेल सुरू केलेलं आहे. हे अतिशय खूप सुंदर चॅनेल आहे. या माध्यमातून आता 1 ते 28 सप्टेंबर पर्यंत आपल्याला सर्व वर्गाचे काही क्लासेस म्हणजे सुरू असतात. हे खूप सुंदर क्लासेस असतात. याच्यामध्ये 11:30 ते 12:30 या काळामध्ये पहिलीचा असतो, तर 10 ते 11:30 या कालावधीमध्ये दुसरीचा असतो. म्हणजे पहिली दुसरीसाठी एक हे उपयुक्त साधन आहे, तर त्याचाही आपल्याला उपयोग करता येईल. प्रत्येकाने एकच फक्त लक्षात ठेवायचं की आपण कुठे युजर बनायचं नाही. युजर बनलं की आपल्याला नुसतं आपण बघत राहतो. तिथे आपण जर क्रिएटर बनलो, निर्माते बनलो तर आपल्याला खूप काही काम करता येतं. आता आपण ते व्हिडिओ जर हे होत असेल, प्ले होत असेल तर लगेच बघूया, म्हणजे आपल्याला लक्षात येईल. मिथिला व्हिडिओ ऑन कर. मिथिला, माझा आवाज जातोय?
हॅलो मॅम, आपण नंतर करणार आहोत का व्हिडिओ?
हा
ओके,
आता स्टार्ट कर आता.
ओके. रुचि मैम
please convey it because
yes
Rao ma'am is asking you to convey.
आता वेळ कमी आहे ना, आपण व्हिडिओज नंतर दाखवूया. अजून एक स्पीकर आहे ना आपला, तर आता कन्क्लूड कर प्लीज.
ओके. फक्त एखादा बघायचा असेल तर एकच बघूया, म्हणजे ते फक्त थोडा आयडियाच करता. बाकी
नाही, क्वेश्चन आन्सर सेशन पण आहे ना, म्हणून
ओके.
नंतर आपण युट्यूब वरती वगैरे दाखवूया.
ओके मॅम,
नक्कीच. आमच्या युट्यूब चॅनेल वरती जर तुम्ही सगळे सर्च केले तर सगळे आपल्याला व्हिडिओज बघायला मिळतील. खूप सुंदर पद्धतीने शिक्षकांनी व्हिडिओज केलेत. आणि पुन्हा एकदा सर्वांचं धन्यवाद की आपण आम्हाला संधी दिली.
थँक्यू.
ओके मैम. ओके, थैंक यू संख्या मैम. मेरी मराठी इतनी अच्छी तो नहीं है, लेकिन एक बात मैं जरूर बोलना चाहूंगी. मुझे एक ही कोट आता है मराठी में और आई थिंक वो लाइफ लेसन है. जसं दिसतं तसं नसतं म्हणून जग फसतं. आई थिंक ये जो हम सोचते हैं ना कि हमारे एलिट स्कूल्स बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारी शासन की स्कूल्स क्या कर रही हैं? कुछ कर भी रही हैं कि बस छोड़ दिया है, आराम कर रही हैं. आज आपने इतनी अच्छी तरह से बताया कि नहीं, आप लोग बैठे नहीं हैं, शासन भी हिल रहा है, काम कर रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे पास बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस आए कि ये NMMC की स्कूल्स कुछ कर भी रही है कि नहीं. सो आई एम रियली हैप्पी कि आज आप इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे आए और आपने इतने छोटे छोटे डिटेल्स को ध्यान रख के अपनी ऑनलाइन टीचिंग की है. आई थिंक इट विल गिव ऑल ऑफ अस एन आइडिया और एक आई ओपनर हो गया कि जैसा दिसतं तसं नसतं. Right, ma'am?
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yeah. Now moving on to our next speaker, last but not the least. Like Purnima ma'am said, you know, while we were having a conversation, you are the heroine of the day, the parent, the most important component in our new normal online teaching. So we have with you a parent, Archana Premkumar, mother of a junior KG child, a child who is attending school, undergoing online teaching, learning, and a work from home mother. So Archana is going to share with us her experience of online learning as a parent. I think one of the most key and important perspective in today's webinar. Archana, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such kind words. And I must extend my gratitude for giving me this opportunity to speak to each one of you and among these esteemed speakers. And yes, I am a working mother, and in this pandemic situation, basically, each one of us have been impacted at, say, physical, spiritual, emotional level, and the kids are sort of a mute spectator to everything that's unfolding before them. So how has a new way of teaching helped them or shaping them? Let me shed a few lights on that. So I have to thank the teachers and the school to basically be swiftly adapt to this changing system, because within a month or so they came up with they undertook entire training to be adaptive to the technological way of delivering teaching, and not in personal way of teaching. And till then, you know, the kid was like being cooped up in the house for more than 2 months, 2.5 months. And the online classes was frankly a welcome addition to the static schedule of my kid. So although there were initial challenges to convince my kid, or everyone, I believe, to make them sit for that class, okay, for say 30 minutes, 40 minutes continuously, it's difficult. So my child has a 45 minutes class, and it's just alternate days. So even for that period, initially it was difficult to make him sit there. But now, fast forward here, he is very much comfortable muting, unmuting himself, and, you know, greeting the teacher when he first starts into the meeting, and then saying bye, and then very jovially going back. So this is one thing that I would say that even the child has started adapting to this mayhem of a situation that it is. And I must credit the teachers for going out of their ways, you know, creatively think of how to make that class interesting. Because they don't even get a 14-inch, right? Like sometimes when you're seeing in that grid view, that teacher is just occupying a 3-inch space. And, you know, this is a replacement from being an in-person teacher who is like constantly giving, you know, dynamically teaching the student to that small space. And in that space have to convey all of that and, you know, help hold the attention of say 20, 25 odd students. And I must, you know, I have always wondered, I don't get a chance to actually, you know, sit with my kid in that online class because it's generally hectic during that time for me. But whenever I've seen, I must say that it must have been so exhausting after that, because to scream on top of their voices, use those different props, and make sure that at least, you know, 20 students are there, like someone is not running away from the screen, muting, you know, unmuting themselves unnecessarily. I mean, it is a commendable job that they do. And each and every class has been very creatively done. Like for example, in the during Ganesh Chaturthi festival, during that time, the kid made non-fire cooking modak. So basically, the teacher telling them to make that modak and that kid doing that all by themselves was a great addition. Sometimes I do feel that there are things that get lost in translation. Now, obviously, there are network lag, there is surrounding noises, someone unmutes, and there is like some, all of that leads to certain messages not being conveyed properly. Like, for example, my kid was learning CVC words. So basically, sat, pat, pat. But then afterwards, I have heard him saying that same rhyme, sat, pat, sat. So, yeah, so such things, obviously, because there is not continuous evaluation by the teacher also, because 35 minutes is very less time, and there so much of concentration has to be imparted to all the students. So this gives me the opportunity as a parent to rectify probably that minute gaps that has come in the teaching or the way of translation that has happened, and rectify that. And the worksheets, the material that the school has provided has been very important for it. Like generally, like how I was taught by my parent, or how I would have taught in normal circumstances is, probably write A, write B, write 1, 2, 3, and alphabets. But now, because they are missing out on that classroom environment, the worksheet suggests that don't teach like that. Probably, if it's an A letter, search for A alphabet friends all around your house so that they learn, or go on plant a seed. So these are activities I would have generally not done. So frankly, this way of teaching where I am cooperating with the teacher has helped me basically bond more with my kid and undertake activities generally I would have not done. So all in all, it has been a positive outcome. Learning, I would not say has been a steep rise, because there is like barely how much time the teacher could spend. But yes, slowly and steadily they are picking up, and I wouldn't mind, 1 year is wasted, because for this year is just for survival. So it's okay. I would say that even if this learning is slow and steady, it's happening. The kid is getting an exposure in this new normal. So that's me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you. It was nice meeting you all virtually.
Thank you, Archana. That was really nice. I like the way you said you have also started learning. So that means the new normal is the parent is becoming an equal partner in learning along with us teachers.
Correct. I would agree. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Archana. Thank you. So now we open the panel for question and answers. I think Archana will take your questions first, since we gave you a chance to speak right in the end. There are questions for you that have come up. Do you feel it's become an additional job for you, especially as a working mother and working from home? So this new normal, is it an additional pressure for you as a parent?
Of course, yes, because this new normal has also extended, like sort of blurred my working hours. It starts early in the morning and goes into the evening. There is no respect for the timeline. So only weekends is something that I get to spend with my kids, frankly, because just after my office hours are done, I'm basically cooking or doing some household chores and all of that. So yes, it is an additional pressure, and whatever time we get, we basically use it to the maximum extent, because the time is such that if we just keep on complaining, then nothing good will come out of it. So.
Oh, that's a very positive approach, Archana. Archana, do you think you have the concerns like, ma'am, abhi ek saal waste ho jayega, fir likhna kab seekhega, numbers nahi aayenge, fir first standard mein problem ho jayegi, the thing that parents are coming up with. So do you think those are your concerns as a parent, or is it, no, let this year go?
Yeah, so certain times I just feel that probably that learning is not happening like if he had gone to a school. My kid, like he has picked up Malayalam, our native language, and Hindi first. But English, he thought that it would be something that he should learn organically in school. So basically, I have seen that now it has sort of, because we also don't put a pressure like learn English, just you speak English, you have to speak. We don't do that because he's comfortable in Malayalam with his grandparents and all of that. So I see that there is a difference because, you know, in nursery, whatever he has picked up, that is not rising. But see, everyone is challenged at this times, and the kid should not be made, it's like let them organically study, frankly. Like if they are learning, let them learn, and how much ever they learn. They have more years where they can pick that up, whichever like things that, whatever the gaps may have occurred in this year, it can be covered in the following years. So that should be, so I'm okay, frankly.
Thank you, Archana. I think you're every educator's delight here. Purnima ma'am, do you agree? We want more like her to increase.
Definitely, definitely. It's wonderful to hear her.
Yeah. So Archana, we just hope,
I hope her tribe increases.
Yes, yes, definitely. That is why I said you're an educator's delight, and you know, we just hope parents with your kind of understanding and holistic attitude increase. Now, my next question is for Sankhe ma'am. Sankhe ma'am, आपने हमको बताया कि बहुत सारे चीजें आप कर रहे हैं ई लर्निंग के लिए, वीडियोस, एप्स, आपके टीचर्स भी कर रहे हैं, बट आपको लग रहा है कि बच्चे सीख रहे हैं या सिर्फ ऐसा है कि ये पेपर पे हो रहा है लेकिन बच्चे सीख नहीं रहे हैं?
अभी आपने जो क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा है, क्योंकि ये बहुत जरूरी है कि बच्चे सीख रहे हैं, या क्योंकि जब तक ये नहीं पता चलता है कि ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन तो शुरू हुआ, लेकिन बच्चों तक ये पहुंचता है कि नहीं और बच्चे एक्सेप्ट करते हैं कि नहीं, तो हमें ऐसा दिखाई देता है कि हमने जब एक गूगल फॉर्म हर एक फीचर्स को बनाने के लिए बोला, तो हमारे 60-70% बच्चे गूगल फॉर्म पे अपने जो क्वेश्चंस है वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं। इसका मतलब ये है कि बच्चे देखते हैं और पढ़ते भी हैं। जिन बच्चों के पास फोन की सुविधा नहीं है, उन बच्चों के लिए बहुत थोड़ा हमारे लिए भी वो प्रॉब्लम है कि उनके पास उनके साथ कैसे पहुंचे। इसके लिए भी हम अलग CSR के माध्यम से कुछ उनके लिए भी करना चाहते हैं, हमारी प्रोसेस भी चल रही है। लेकिन ऑनलाइन से बच्चे जितना स्कूल में जैसे एजुकेशन होता है उतना तो नहीं होगा, लेकिन घर बैठ के भी एजुकेशन होता है और टीचर्स उनके साथ मिलकर काम करते हैं। थैंक यू
मैम। थैंक यू मैम, दैट्स रियली नाइस। एक और सवाल है कि आपने प्री प्राइमरी या अर्ली इयर्स के लिए अभी ही फिलहाल चालू किया ऑनलाइन लर्निंग, तो पहले क्यों नहीं किया? आपको ऐसे नहीं लगता? जी जी मैम।
पहले तो ये है कि 15 जून से स्कूल स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ, उसके बाद पहले जो 10th के बच्चे थे उनके ऊपर फोकस करना जरूरी था, और 28 अप्रैल और 15 जून का एक शासन निर्णय था कि उसके हिसाब से उन्होंने कंप्लीटली हमें ये दिया था कि 3rd स्टैंडर्ड से लेके 10th तक इन बच्चों को ही ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन होगी, क्योंकि बाकी जो बच्चे 1st स्टैंडर्ड या 2nd स्टैंडर्ड या प्री प्राइमरी, वो बच्चे छोटे होते हैं, और अगर उनको कितने उसके बाद उसके ऊपर जब स्टडी करके देखा गया कि इन बच्चों के लिए भी कुछ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उनको करने के लिए टाइम ज्यादा नहीं रहेगा, टाइम कम रहेगा, उनको खेलते खेलते कार्टून्स के माध्यम से उनका एजुकेशन होना जरूरी है। तो उस हिसाब से सह्याद्री चैनल पे टिलीमिली करके एक बहुत अच्छा कार्यक्रम आता है कि जिसमें छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं कि पहली और दूसरी के, उन बच्चों के लिए बहुत अच्छी तरह से कार्टून के माध्यम से उनका पढ़ाई होता है। और हमारे एजुकेशन नवी मुंबई महानगर पालिका के 1st स्टैंडर्ड से लेके सारे टीचर अपने अपने अभी यूट्यूब चैनल पे लेसन रेडी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो प्राइमरी सेक्शन है प्री प्राइमरी, उनके लिए हमने क्या किया है, एक संस्था है, उस संस्था के माध्यम से जो टीचर्स को बच्चों के साथ मिलके कैसे काम करना है, इसके लिए हम उनको एक ट्रेनिंग हमारा शुरू है। हफ्ते में एक बार उनका ये ट्रेनिंग रहता है, एक हफ्ते में बच्चों के साथ वो टीचर कम्युनिकेशन करती है, तो उसमें उनको पता चलता है कि कैसे करें, बच्चे पढ़ते हैं या नहीं पढ़ते, ये भी बात उनको पता चलती है। तो इस माध्यम से हमारा काम आगे चल रहा है और उसके ऊपर और काम करने का हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Okay, Sandra, my next question is to you. Is technology able to create that enthusiasm in children which they show when they come to school? Are the children that come with the same enthusiasm for an online class?
Actually, kids over here are more technology friendly. They love working on their Chromebooks. Now, each one of them, they get their own laptop, even at kindergarten. So they are taught how to go about and how to do things. So that's what I feel sad about it, that they are more technology friendly than actually, using the materials that they need to. But yes, they love doing it on technology.
So you mean to say they come with the same enthusiasm that they will come
yes,
to a regular?
Because we do have a part of it that goes on technology in class too. Yeah, and I have noticed, but when it comes to writing on, like just an example of writing their name on a worksheet, we've seen the pencil grip, the grasp is not developed, and the pencil is like, and you start using it this way, and or they just drop down. We give them a choice of using the favorite crayon that you would like to use, the color that you would like to use to write your name, but they go like, if they don't want to do it, they just drop it off, and then they like, I don't know how to write those letters, which is we know it's not the truth. But when it comes on technology, they love to move it with their fingers and do stuff. Yeah.
So how does the new normal help the special children? Since you deal a lot with special children, do you think the new normal is able to cater to them to a great extent?
It definitely has its disadvantages, just like how it goes with the general kids. But with special kids, it's a little more, because it's, like I said earlier in my talk, it's a very uncontrolled environment at the other end. So they are like, I deal a lot with autistic and ADHD and behavior challenges too. So we just have to know the child. We work for earning our probably a smile or a star, and then later the child is rewarded when he gets through all his rewards. So it does get difficult, because on the other end, you just find them hiding under the blanket and not listening to you, not paying attention, or blabbering and talking something totally off topic. That's when we just, try to, like, I would like to share one experience that I had with this kid, and then he just stopped listening to me and started directing to me, like, why don't you open your mouth and show me your teeth and stuff that way. And he just went something on a total different tangent. And I told him that this is not like what we are doing. Would you like to do something that, and I, picked up one of his favorite books that he used to love at school. And he still did not get that attention. And I said, oh, I see a beautiful drawing back there on your door. And that caught up his focus, and he started talking about that drawing. And that's when, after I gave him the time to talk to him about it, and I said, this is what I have done too. And I showed him some stuff of mine and got him. So we do face a lot of challenges, but we have like 20-minute sessions, and actual learning time could be like 3 to 5 minutes, not more than that. But our target is to try to reach and to the max that we can. And just as I said earlier, like, we do have parents. Parents sometimes do sit next to them and have them focused and redirect them, and probably repeat whatever is expected out of us so that we can get the student back on task. And then we do ask them, like, what are you working for? Are you working for playing outside for some time? Are you working to play on your tablet or your computer? So they work towards something, you know, that they would need to. So that gets us a little more of them that we can teach them.
Thank you. I'll come back with one more question. But now my question is for Purnima ma'am. Purnima ma'am, since your perspective was the national perspective, my first question as an educator will be, कब खुलेंगे schools? और कैसे खुलेंगे?
I wish I could reply to that. It's a big question mark. नहीं मालूम कब खुलेंगे, जब तक, when I ask parents, they say जब तक वैक्सीन नहीं निकलता तब तक तो हम अपने बच्चों को नहीं भेजेंगे. And well, I hear that those who have opened, not in our country, हमारे देश में तो खुले ही नहीं है. In fact, हमने सुना कल Lonavala has been completely shut down. And abhi there is a spike. So how do you send children anywhere? They are the safest right now in the house. And like Archana as a parent said, it's okay. It's okay if 1 year goes. Doesn't matter. So इसीलिए कब school खुलेगा हमें नहीं मालूम. We have no idea. We just have to wait and watch and see how it opens. They have said that 21st September, they are going to try out with 9th and 12th. But to come to the early years, I think it's going to take a long time.
So ma'am, let's say, are we looking at June 2021, wherein we'll have our children back in school, our young learners back in school?
Let's hope so. If it's earlier than that, nothing better than that. But if by December our vaccines come out and children are safe and the government says, yes, you can come, you can open, then like Sandra had given so many options how they're doing in the States. So we could also do it, you know, some children on odd days, some children on even days, little by little. But I don't see anything happening till the vaccine comes out, at least not for the early years.
Ma'am, like you mentioned, Dr. Seshadri's talk yesterday at the NIMHANS webinar. So do you think when we get back these learners into our classroom, we will have issues concerning the socio-emotional development of these children?
Definitely, I think so. Definitely, because these children are going through so much at home. And parents, you know, see, social emotional skills develop how? I mean, it all depends upon the social atmosphere, the emotional atmosphere at home. Today, our parents are so stressed out. And I think Archana is being very, very brave by saying, you know, that we're managing and they have to manage the home front. And see, the social, everything is related to a child's social emotional development relates. It's directly proportionate to a parent's feeling of comfort. If the parent is peaceful, calm, collected, it will reflect on the child. But we are all going through immense turmoil in our lives. Whether we are affluent and those who are not affluent, they're the worst affected. So we as professionals, as educators, will have to do a lot of counseling, show a lot of empathy, lot of kindness, lot of patience with our children when they're back to work, they're back into the schools.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Ruchi, ma'am, if there are any questions.
One thing, Shahina, for this, we do need a lot of personal and professional development of our teachers. Yes.
Ruchi, ma'am, yes, please. Yes.
I just want to tell you something because I am not sure exactly what are the methods, how you go about adopting teaching, you know, at your end in schools, where it's like one-on-one or you take the entire class all. But I think when you're talking something about social, I would like to suggest, why not the teachers have a lunch time? Every Friday, let's have lunch together online. you know, the kids learn to see their friends and probably talk and say something, or what are your plans for the weekend? Or even if you have something, a Monday session, share something. What did you do on the weekend? Or did you watch a new movie? I mean, irrespective of something, I think we can just, because I'm sure they're missing their friends and talking to them. And, you know, so this way they can at least, if you have like a lunch bunch session, maybe the teacher takes 10 students at a time for a lunch, and the next day the remaining 10 or whatever, I don't know, it depends. They can just do something that way. And when we are talking about using your devices for working, I know Sankhya ma'am said, in fact, I should really congratulate Sankhya ma'am on the beautiful stuff that they're doing. And it's like, hum piche nahi hai, you know, we are all working together, shoulder to shoulder. That's the way I like that attitude. So I think you can connect your device to the television. I'm not sure how it's. You can see when it's a bigger screen, you have the distance, the child is sitting at a distance, and he can get a better and a clearer view of his teacher or of the class, whatever is going on. And I really appreciate Archana. We would like to have more and more parents like you. Talk to all of your friends and say, so what? It's not, education is a big important part of the life, but I think it's safety and life itself that's so very important. So it's okay if 1 year, you know, goes slow and you don't reach where a child needs to be at the age of 6 or the age of 8, you know, that doesn't matter. And one more thing, like you were talking about the 45-minute session, Archana. I think I really don't know whether it goes 45 minutes per day, but what maybe I would suggest the teachers all together probably could take sessions, you know, in small bits, like 30 minutes, take a break, and maybe after half an hour, after 1 hour, or after 2 hours, we are going to come back and this is what we are going to do. So we do 30 minutes of reading. You can read a storybook. You can have an interaction session with your children. What do you think of this character? Whom do you like the best? And what's the setting like? You know, you can have it very in an interactive way where they would love to do it. Take a break and have the teachers come back and do it. So maybe again, you all can cohort your students accordingly and work probably. We have to try to get and make the best use that our students benefit the most. Thank you.
Yes, Purnima ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Just taking on from what Sandra said, what we do in our school, we have all our children together on the screen and all the teachers and all. We do a lovely sing song and a lovely dance, something like Ghoda Jaldi Chalo, मैं तुम्हें खाना दूंगा, मैं तुम्हें प्यार करूंगा, and a lot of social emotional development happening. And you know, music touches everybody's lives. So it could be a food, a lunch together, it could be a music session together, a dancing session together, anything.
Yeah, so you don't have to see teachers only for learning. You can see teachers for having some fun, having lunch together.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. All our learning situations, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ruchi ma'am, are there any more questions from the participants?
Ma'am, I think you've been able to cover most of them, and it's been quite comprehensive.
Yeah, so there are no more questions because what
they were open. Yes, ma'am, they're all overlapping. So somewhere or the other, most of the questions have been answered.
Okay, so you'd like to check the chat because there were some. संख्या मैम, एक क्वेश्चन आपके लिए आया है कि
बोलिए।
अभी जब देख रहे हैं कि अर्थव्यवस्था इतनी खराब है कि स्पेशली जो एनएमएमसी स्कूल में आ रहे हैं बच्चे, उनके पेरेंट्स अगर काम नहीं है, और वो आपको लगता है उन पेरेंट्स के जो 3 से 6 साल की उम्र वाले बच्चे हैं वो इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं इतना ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में, या कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं आपके साथ ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म में?
ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म पे फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड से तो अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस है, उसमें प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है। लेकिन ज्यादातर प्राइवेट स्कूल्स का थोड़ा ये हो रहा है कि उनको लगता है कि फीस के लिए ये स्टार्ट हुआ है ई लर्निंग, ऑनलाइन लर्निंग। तो अभी उसके लिए कंपल्सरी कुछ नहीं है कि इन बच्चों को पूरा ऑनलाइन ही सेशन करना है, पेरेंट्स के साथ कम्युनिकेशन करना है सिर्फ। और पेरेंट्स अभी 22 जुलाई का जो GR है उसके हिसाब से तो वही वैसे ही गाइडलाइन है कि उसी गाइडलाइन से हमें बच्चों के साथ प्री प्राइमरी के डायरेक्टली नहीं जाना है, उनके पेरेंट के साथ जाना है। और पेरेंट को अगर आप कम्युनिकेट करते हो कि ये करना है दिन 1-2 घंटे के लिए, या ऐसा सेशन चलता है तो ठीक है। ऑनलाइन में तो अभी ऐसे सारे बच्चे, वैसे सभी बच्चे तो खुश नहीं होंगे, बहुत सारे बच्चों को तो लगता है कि स्कूल में आना बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि उनके दोस्तों के साथ मिलना या दंगा मस्ती करना या कुछ चीजें शेयर करना। तो ये सब बातें तो नहीं होती क्योंकि वो जो हम कहते हैं कि सामाजिक विकास जिसमें होता है तो वो अगर घर में बैठ के नहीं होता, उसके लिए तो स्कूल खुलना ही जरूरी है। लेकिन स्कूल बंद है इसलिए एजुकेशन नहीं बंद होगा, एजुकेशन तो शुरू ही रहेगा। जब स्कूल खुलेंगे तब फिर से ये एजुकेशन शुरू होगा और उस जैसे पहले था उससे बढ़िया और एजुकेशन में आपको बहुत सारी ये भी वैरायटी भी मिलेगी। तो ये एक अच्छा मौका भी मिला है कि ऑनलाइन, वैसे तो इंडिया में हमारे ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन का इतना ज्यादा ये नहीं था कि ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, इसके ऊपर कोई किसी का ये नहीं था। लेकिन अभी ऐसा लगता है कि कभी कभी तो ऐसा एजुकेशन भी होना चाहिए। सोशल जो एक्टिविटी है वो तो क्लास में ही होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये भी है कभी कभी ऐसा कोई बता नहीं सकते कि कब ऐसा कोई माहौल आ जाए कि कैसे करे। तो हम अगर पहले से प्रिपेयर रहते हैं तो इसके लिए अड़चनें बहुत सारी कम हो जाती है। और बच्चे वैसे थोड़े बहुत सारे बच्चे तो एंजॉय करते भी है क्योंकि उनको ये भी अच्छा लगता है कि चलो स्कूल में नहीं जाना है और घर बैठ के क्या मम्मी पापा भी इतना डांटते नहीं है, तो होता है। चलो अभी ये तो कैसे भी करके हमें एजुकेशन नहीं बंद करना है, एजुकेशन का जो सिस्टम है वो तो चलता ही रहेगा, जो ऑनलाइन होगा या ऑफलाइन हो वो तो चलता ही रहना चाहिए। Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So I like to end the session here with that we are looking.
One minute, madam. One minute. मेरे साथ जो मिथिला भोसले ये टीचर ही है, लेकिन उन्होंने वीडियो मेकिंग में बहुत सारा काम किया है और गूगल फॉर्म में तो एक्सपर्ट है वो, तो इसलिए मैंने उनको भी साथ लिया था कि कुछ अगर जरूरत किसी का क्वेश्चन हो तो वो आपको के बता सकते। थैंक यू
मैम। So we are looking at schooling beyond schools, playing beyond classrooms, and teaching beyond books when we talk of the new normal. I think we all agree to it. So I would like to end the session that Purnima ma'am gave us a very holistic view of the child and the parent, the teacher, yes, all the 4 components in the new normal. Sandra shared some beautiful insights and suggestions and ideas of the hybrid model, lunch punch, and mass break, brain break, which I'm sure we can look at when the schools reopen. And Sankhe ma'am's, of course, efforts that the government is doing its bit for every learner out there, irrespective of which strata of society they come from. And of course, our new parent mascot, Archana Prem Kumar, will love to have parents like you. The calmness, like Purnima ma'am said, the calmness you're projecting, I'm sure your child is imbibing it in this learning from home. So I would like to thank everybody, all the participants for your valuable time, your inputs, and all the sharing that you have done with us. And the speakers who have really been with us for the past 3-4 days. We've been troubling you for the link, we've been troubling you for the PPTs and innumerable messages and phone calls. I'm glad that you put up with all of us. And last but not the least, Awaaz Team channel for telecasting this webinar live. So we are live on Facebook, we are live on Awaaz TV, which is a local channel here at Navi Mumbai. Right? So thank you, ma'am. Thanks all the speakers, and a great way to begin our 25th year celebrations. And thank you, team. Of course, we are going to have a party afterwards.
Thank you, Shaina. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Rao madam, thank you.
Subscribe to Awaaz today. Click on the bell icon for latest national and international buzzing news.